Hello, it's me, Kat. I'm back again on the Wednesday class. You can say hello in the chat if you'd like. Noticing this morning in Norwich that there's definitely a shift in season, starting to feel that little cool air of autumn gently drawing in. So, hello to everyone if you've just joined. How are we doing? Great. And we've got the wonderful Dinah on the chat. So if you've got any questions, Dinah can either flag them up or kindly answer them. But hopefully this morning we can just have a really nice, yummy class, kind of thinking about this harvest time. You know, I love harvest time, late summer in Chinese medicine seasons. Not only do we go out and collect the food for harvest time, but I always feel this nice connection of kind of harvesting the fruits of our labour of the whole year so far before we start to draw in. We're not quite there yet. Draw in, reflect, and then hunker down ready for winter. But don't worry, we're not quite there yet. We're just watching the season gently change from late summer and then slowly into autumn. But it's lovely to have you all here. I am going to share one little slide before we connect in to see how we're doing. Where are we? There it is. So we've gone through the CV, the conception vessel, or the governing vessel, on the back of the body as well, and linked in all of the other element and meridian channels throughout this last block of classes. Very soon, I think Cliff's working on what's coming next. So in this session, just to tie it all up really nicely, I thought we could look at connecting our microcosmic orbit together. That's where the conception vessel, our yin, and our governing vessel, the yang, come together to make our wonderful microcosmic orbit. We've looked at it lots before, but I thought just for today, we'll do that. Point of the week, I've kind of left it a little bit free form because I wanted more to focus on these two channels coming together. However, I did just think, let's choose one on the conception vessel and one on the governing vessel. So that's what we're going to be up to today. I'm just going to close the slide down. Great. And then I am looking at, yes. So I just thought before we get up and move, I'll do just a couple of polls. I don't have my paper and pen with me today. It's not always necessary, but if you want to get something next to you to write and draw stuff down, please do. I'm going to come and sit back just a little bit more. I've got my bolster to sit on. Maybe you've got some other things, chair that you want to sit on or a cushion. Hello everyone, if you've just joined, it's amazing. We've got this lovely worldwide global group of people on our Wednesday class. So sitting nice and comfortably, it might be on the chair or on the floor, cross-legged or having your legs out long. We're just checking, you might want to rock the pelvis a little bit from side to side, allow the ribs to be nice and easy. Easy breath, yep. I'm yawning already, that's not a bad thing. We're just going to check in with our shoulders as well, maybe give them a roll or a little wiggle, or draw them up to the ears and then release them. And then if you want to, you can have the hands resting on your legs, or how is it to place one hand over the other, just below the belly button, our umbilical navel, just here, over our dantian. There's a point on the conception channel, but we're going to focus just on a general area, just underneath the belly button, our lovely center, dantian. And if you want to, you can start to close your eyes. Please excuse me for yawning my head off. I think something needs to be cleared this morning. So gently with the hands over the belly, releasing the elbows, Closing the eyes if that feels okay, and just having a little tune in and checking in. We've got an easy, natural breath. We're not forcing anything. Or maybe you're yawning like me. I don't know, I've been up for hours. I don't know why I'm so yawny, but hey, I think things are shifting. Easy breath. We're just gonna tune very gently, softly, lightly into our whole being, our whole body, perhaps our physical body. Seeing if anything kind of pops up or something that we notice straight away. And it might not be anything, or perhaps there's something that feels particularly good. It doesn't have to be blocked or tight. It might be that as well. And then we're just going to have a little think or sense of how our mind's doing. Perhaps there's a lot going on and our minds and brains are working overtime to get everything done. So just very lightly tuning in there. We don't have to think too much. Lovely. And then maybe we can tune into our sense of our spirit, perhaps our free spirit, or maybe that chimes with you on your spiritual level. Seeing how that is for you, how that feels. Perhaps just notice it sits somewhere near you or kind of in your body as well. And if you're thinking, I don't know what the hell Kat's talking about, it's okay. You can just allow these senses and noticing of the things around you and connected to you, how they're doing. And then how is it just to focus ever so lightly on the space all around you? Yep. Please excuse me, lots of yawns this morning. Ears and eyes popping. That seems pretty good. So this kind of imagining we've got an auric egg all around us, above and below us, behind us, to the side of us. So just noticing the space around us. Perhaps it feels shiny and large, or maybe there's some areas it feels a little squashed. All right, and then from there, so we've gone through all these different qualities and levels. From there, we're just going to connect in with something bigger, greater than us. Maybe that's the cosmos, the stars, the heavens, your deity. Maybe it's God, Allah, or however you see this thing that's bigger than us physically. So tuning in there, but we're still a little grounded so we don't go flying. Just felt us a little go quite quickly. So we're still connected and sitting into our physical body. We can just think about these wonderful, vast, greater things above us. How does that feel? And then very gently calm back to the physical body. Notice where your breath is. Even if it's shallow, that's okay. If it's tight, that's okay. Just noticing where the breath is. All right. So if you wanted to make any notes, or perhaps you just want to enjoy that lovely process of tuning in on all the different areas and levels and beings that we have many layers to ourselves, not just our physical fleshly one. So if you wanted to write anything down, please do. I'm just going to pop up a little poll to get going. And I'm going to put, how are you coping? Are you well? Do you feel okay? Are you stressed? Or are you very stressed? Or perhaps you're a little of all. Hello everyone, if you've just popped on. It's nice to see you all. Okay, so where are we? All right, so 40% are doing, 45% are okay, 10 neutral, but there's about 34% of you are very stressed or stressed. Okay, well, hopefully by 11 we're going to feel a lot smoother and calmer. Let me have a little look here. Okay, so as we tuned into those layers of our physical being, our mind, spiritual, our space around us, and the cosmos, I'm going to share a poll of is your energy too up or too down? So when we connected on these different levels of our being, was there a sense of one feeling very heavy or very light, almost floating off quite quickly? So I'm just going to pop this other poll in. Do you feel much too up, like you're floating, or a little up, ungrounded, about balanced, or too down? Too down, or feeling heavy, kind of stuck to the ground? How's everyone doing in the chat? Coping well. Wonderful, Kim. Really glad to hear that. Yes, it's nice. I think the shift in seasons definitely helping with change and allowing things to shift. Okay. All right. So there's just like how we're coping, there's a nice broad spectrum of some of you are very up and some of you are a little down, energetically wise. All right. Great. I'm going to leave the polls for now. How are we doing? Good. So from here, I thought let's come up to standing and have a little check in. How's Jane doing? Should be stressed, not clicking okay as I'm leading my second ever workshop this afternoon. Jane, that's marvellous. I'm distracted again like last week. I'm multitasking. Don't you worry. That's absolutely fine. I understand and I do the same sometimes. Multitasking, half in a class and half not, and that's okay. Pop in to join us with some movement whenever you want to. This is what it's here for. So we're just tuning into the body. Allow the feet to kind of pad in the ground. I thought I'd put my funky stripy socks on today. Jazz it up for a Wednesday morning, allowing the heels to drop in the ground. So I don't know about you, but when I'm stressed or I see people stressed and busy and they're running around the city, this tends to happen. The high heel look. The heels come off the ground, the chest and the head leads. So we want to ground the heels down. Don't worry if you are already feeling grounded and quite heavy. We're going to connect into the ground so we can find space and ease to gently lift off the ground and the floor. So allowing the feet to really sink in, relaxing the toes so we don't have to hold the toes as we lift the feet up, allowing really nice juicy pads in the ground. Imagining maybe we're a bit more of a big cat, maybe like a puma or a lion. Wonderful. And then just settling the weight, doesn't matter if it's hip, shoulder width apart, just settling the weight between the feet. And then we're just going to take the hips from side to side. Our lovely femur bones come into the hip socket at the side of our pelvis. And then on the outside of the femur, we've got the greater trochanter, and on the inside, where's my words at? The small trochanter, the lesser trochanter. So the hip bone comes in like this, and we're thinking of this greater trochanter on the outside, swinging the hips from side to side. Lovely. So yes, please, apologies for my lack of words when I'm tired and have a lot of things on. My words escape me. So please bear with me as I fish for my words. So just allowing the hips to swing from side to side. Easy knees, easy ankles, and maybe you can just take a little smile to yourself. Yeah, you might be stressed. Yes, you've got a wonderful workshop this afternoon. Maybe you're feeling a little down, but it's okay. We're just going to say hello to ourselves. I'm here, and you've all turned up for yourselves this morning. Just allowing those wiggles of the hips and trochanters to ease off, so we gently come to standing. And we've got our wonderful pelvic bowl resting on the top of our legs, so it's holding us up. Wonderful. And then we're just going to alternate each shoulder whilst yawning. Excuse me. So rolling the shoulder forward and back, and we're alternating each shoulder. And don't worry if they're a little crunchy. We're just making a little bit of space, and they can be small, subtle circles, or perhaps they're much juicier and we can soften the knees, plant our feet in the ground, allowing the sternum and rib cage to roll around with us. Lovely. Easy breath. And then how is it to draw the elbows up to the sky? And again, the elbows can stay down a little lower, particularly if we're seated in a chair. Or maybe you can roll the elbows all the way up to help open up the armpit and the ribs underneath. Wonderful. Yep, you've guessed what's coming next. Not a yawn. It's leading with the wrists. So allowing the arm to be soft through the joints. And again, you might want to keep the arm much lower and softer, especially if there's any shoulder issues, or softening the knees and really allowing lots of space in the body. Wonderful. That's great. And then very gently, we're going to release the arms by the side of the body, taking your time. Yes, excuse me. Padding the feet in the ground. Seriously, apologies for the yawns. And then we're just going to very gently take the head to look from one side to the other. And we're not forcing anything. So if you feel your neck pulling, bring the kind of angle of how we're looking from one side to the other much smaller. Even if it's like 45 degrees, it really doesn't matter. We're just going to where kind of feels as far as it can go without kind of forcing the head round. Just helping the spine to find a nice ease and quality there. Lovely. And then bringing the head back to the center, we're just going to gently drop the chin towards the chest so we can open up the back of the neck a little bit. Easy breath. And then gently taking the face to look up towards the sky. And the same thing, we don't want to drop the head so the neck kind of gets crunched at the back. We want to imagine there's a nice pillow or someone's hands just behind that we can take a hold of our head. So we've got space at the back of the neck and the throat is easy. And then chin to chest again. Not forcing anything. Grounding through our feet. All right. And then opening the face to the sky. Oh, lovely. And just do one more if that feels okay. And then bringing the head back to the center again. Wonderful. I think we're all doing all right in the chat. Yes. Okay. We're doing great. So from here, I thought we could have a little tap round, do our dough in round the body. So let's start on the head. Yeah, I think it's one of those days today, so yeah, I'm going to quit apologising. I'm just going to keep yawning my head off. So we're going to shake the hands out. We're going to keep these loosey fingers and wrists. And we're just going to gently tap on the top of the head, imagining gorgeous warm raindrops on the top of the head. Actually, I'll come a little bit closer so you can see. And then either side of the spine, the occipital point. How's everyone doing? Good. And then we're going to go either side of the head. So from the front of the eyebrow there, we're going to go side of the head, round the ears. And then how is it across the forehead, edge of the eyebrows, and again down to the ears. Lovely. And then we're just going to gently, gently, gently tap between the eyebrows, our third eye. Yep, on our governing vessel. And then we're going to come around the eyes, very lightly, fingertips under the eye sockets. And then gently, gently tapping down the face into our stomach channel. Might want to release the jaw. Yep, you're doing okay. And then gently tapping along the jaw. See if you can relax the tongue inside the mouth. Lovely. And then from here, just to connect in with our governing vessel, I'm just going to tap from the top of the head. I'm going to turn around. You might want to do both hands. Right down the midline to a lovely point in the neck where our hairline edge meets. It's underneath the occipital point. We're just very, very gently tapping here into our governing vessel. This one helps the brain. And then calming out either side of the spine. It's going to come into bladder channel, either side of the spine, all the way down. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to come back up to standing. So we've done our channels on the head. I'm going to come up to standing. Take a hold of one elbow and we're going to go the opposite side. So tapping, you might do loose fists. I'm going to go from the shoulder where the neck is all the way out to the tip of the shoulder. Lovely. And go as firm as feels comfortable. Or you might want to go much, much lighter. And then extend the side, the arm that we've been tapping the top of the shoulder. And we're going to go down the thumb side of the inside. Turn over and come up the index finger side, back of the shoulder there. Lung and large intestine. Woo, breathing in the good stuff and letting go of the stuff we don't need. Kind of just about turning into autumn season. I know it's more late summer, but we're on the cusp of a change. Lovely. And then up to the chest. Gently tapping the chest, or maybe you want to do a little bit more Tarzan this morning. Oh, I don't know if you want to make a noise, or you can make a noise. And then the same thing the other side. We're going to take a hold of the elbow, go from the neck side of the shoulder all the way down to the tip. Using a loose fist or fingertips. Wonderful. And then the arm that's supporting this one, the same side, we're tapping the shoulder. We're going to come down that arm, releasing that arm all the way to the thumb on the inside, turning the hand over up the index finger side on the back of the arm. Lung down to the thumb, and then large intestine up the back of the arm. Wonderful. Let's do one more. Super. And then we're going to come onto the chest here. Ooh. And then how is it? We're just going to tap down the sides of our torso as far up as comfortable. Obviously, if this is sore on the shoulders, don't do it. Start here. So tapping either side of our pectoral muscles, down the ribs onto the hips. Wonderful. And then connecting in with our CV, our conception vessel, I'm just going to come back underneath the collarbone very, very lightly. I'll come a little closer. So we're zipping down the conception vessel, which connects into our dantian, and it goes underneath to meet the governing vessel that runs down the back. And it's the same, they meet at the mouth on this orifice. So gently, gently tapping down the midline. You might want to use one hand or two, very lightly, particularly around the sternum and the heart center and the solar plexus, into the belly button. It's our lovely yin energy under the belly button, into our dantian, and then just a little further to find the top of the pubic bone. Gently tapping there. Wonderful. All right, and then we're going to move the hands outwards and trace the line of the hips. So gently tracing the front of the hip line. All right, so we're shifting now. We're going to go around the back and find the bottom of the governing vessel, since we did the one on the top here. Tracing now, and I'm going to turn round. So softening the knees and the ankles. Yeah, don't hate. Meditate. I put that on for you guys today. All right, so releasing the head and shoulders gently forward. I'm going to use the index finger side and thumb side of the hands. Only go as far as is comfortable. If this is way too much, which it is for me, you don't need to do it. I'm going to start here where it's comfortable on the shoulders. Feet are nice and spread. I'm just gently tapping either side of the spine, tuning into our wonderful kidney channel. And then gently drawing down into the space where the lower ribs float and we start to come into the softer tissues. Lovely. And then down either side of the lumbar onto the sacrum. Wonderful. Let's do that again. Gently tapping, or a little more vigorous if that feels okay. Either side of the spine. Onto the sacrum. And then, just before we go down the legs, I thought we could find our wonderful Ming Men. So we've got our dantian, energy that comes in from the mother, from the umbilical cord, and our father's energy that comes in to our back, into our governing vessel, our yang channel. And there's a wonderful point called the Ming Men, bladder 23, if I've got that correct. Down with my numbers. So what we do to find it is you find your waist, trace your waist, and then it's one thumb width down. That's how I find mine. So when I've got the sacrum here, my waist is here, and I'm one down. This is my Ming Men, and my dantian's here. So the Ming Men is slightly higher than the dantian. All right. So gently, I'm just very gently tapping onto the spine and then drawing it out either side of the spine. So cultivating that yang energy that gives us the right amount of energy to keep going. Our wonderful willpower with the kidneys. Wonderful. Gently around this area, really around the waist, drawing the energy up and around. Okay. And then we're going to come to the legs. Let's go down the sides of the legs, thinking of gallbladder and arc the insides, liver, and then we'll do bladder and kidney. So hands, if that feels okay, or fingertips, do whatever feels comfortable. Tapping down outside of the legs, relax the head, go as far as it's comfortable. Down the outside of the legs to the fourth toe. Then we're going to come up the big toe on the top of the foot. to the inside aspect of the legs, either side of the inner knee, and then into the thighs, and then into the top of the pelvis near the pubic bone. Let's go round again, this outside the legs, tall bladder. Releasing the head all the way to the fourth toe, and then hopping onto the big toe on the top there, our lovely liver three. We've done it quite a few weeks ago, but it's a good one. And then coming up to the inside aspect of the ankle, the knees, into the thighs, and then hips. Let's do once down the back of the legs, the kidneys. So midline, so we've got a governing vessel is the midline of the back. The bladder is midline of the back of the legs. So softening the knees if we want, tapping all the way down the back to the legs. It's our lovely stocking line. Tapping down the thighs and then all the way to the little toe. And then we're going to connect in with our lovely kidney point. We know it's underneath, it starts at kidney 1, underneath the soles of the feet. So we're thinking of that as we tap the feet. We're going to come up the inside edge. Keep going inside edge. It does zigzag at the back of the legs, but we're just going to come up the legs. Wonderful. We're going to find our belly and we're going to go right hip, up to the right ribs, across to the left ribs, down to the left hip. Right hip, right ribs, left hip. Allowing all this wonderful combination of yin and yang coming together in your body. So if we're feeling a little down, we need our yin to be nourished so we can have some impetus and energy. And if we're too yang, we need our yin nourishing so we can be a little bit more grounded so our yang's not so empty. And then drawing these lovely circles, we're going to draw them all the way in to underneath the belly button to find our dantian, which is on our conception vessel, CV. Lovely. And then pausing the hands here, resting the elbows and the shoulders. Easy breath. You might want to close your eyes and tune into how you're doing. It might be on one of those levels. Maybe it's the mind or your spirit or the cosmos. Or maybe it's just that very satisfying earthly physical being that you are. Easy breath, and our feet are still spread and grounded into the wonderful earth. Super. Then gently opening your eyes and releasing your hands. Great. Just want to check in to see how we're doing. Got a wonderful amount of time. I think everybody else is okay. Yes. Oh, yes, Do in. Okay, Kim, Dinah's going to get back to you on that. I'm going to keep us going with some movement. I thought we could tune into our heavens and earth Qi Gong sequence where we gather in the earth, open our heart center and gather in the heavens, and it connects really nicely into our central line, our conception and our governing vessel that runs down the back. They've got other names and I'm going to come to that a little bit later. I'll turn sideways just so you can see, and we're going to keep the hands off the body. Okay, so I'll talk us through it very gently to begin with. I'm sure you've done it lots before, but it's always nice just to tune in and to check where we're going. So if you can't stand, you can do this sitting as well, and we'll ground the energy from the sitting bones, and if you can plant your feet on the ground, that would be great too. So as we're standing, we're just going to allow the feet to spread, easy ankles. There's some weight in the heels, so we're not too far forward, leading from the chest to the head. We're dropping back into our bodies. The belly's easy. We've got a bit of space around the back of the hips. You might just want to imagine you're putting your hands in your jean pockets. That's a nice one to help the tailbone just gently drop. Checking the shoulders, the jaw. You're yawning. Wonderful. We're just going to have the hands just in front of our dantian, pointing the palms of the hands in here. I'm just going to breathe in through the nose, and as we breathe out, we're going to imagine we're sending the breath down the arms, through the palms and towards the belly. So as we breathe out, even though we're letting go of breath and things that we don't need, we're also giving this wonderful Qi life force back to ourselves through the belly, but not the stuff that we don't need. That can go out through the mouth, okay? All the good stuff we want to send back to ourselves. So breathing in through the nose, releasing the belly, breathing out, sending that gorgeous Qi and energy from the hands to the belly. Breathing in. Let's do one more, sending that gorgeous energy from the palms of the hands to your belly, to your conception vessel. And then we'll have an easy breath. I'm just going to allow the palms to face the ground. We're going to say hello to our wonderful earth, our gorgeous Mother Earth that's giving us these beautiful fruits and these beautiful places for us to live. We're going to send the fingertips downwards, start to soften the knees, and we're going to take the hands around the sides of the legs, like we just did with the dough in, softening the knees, release the head. We're going to go down the legs, following those stripes. We're hanging over wherever's comfortable, even if it's just a little way here. Don't have to go all the way over. And then we're going to gather this gorgeous earth energy, saying hello, and there's plenty for us. And we're going to draw this energy through the legs, just slightly on the inside, thinking of our spleen channel maybe. And we're zipping up the legs, up to our central vessel again, our conception vessel, into the Chong Mai as well, which is another thing entirely. We're going to draw up the center line, fingertips pointing our conception vessel till we find our heart. And then we're just very gently going to open the hands out, arms out like a scroll. And it might only be that this feels comfortable today. You don't want to go all the way. Go to as far as is comfortable. We're gently opening our hearts. Palms face up towards the sky. And then we're going to still soften the knees and hips. Send our palms up towards the sky. Easy shoulders. And then we're going to draw some energy around the heavens, the deity, God, the sun, whatever that is for you. And then we're going to draw it down to the top of our crown, where our governing vessel sits on the head. Point the fingers down towards the head, and we're going to draw that energy down our governing vessel, back of the head, come round the jaw and throat. And we're going to find our conception vessel again, drawing down the ribs, and then we're going to go around the ribs and find the governing vessel again. We'll come around here. So however feels comfortable with the hands, I'm just going to connect in with that Ming Men, and we're going to come up, imagining we've got holsters. So we're going to go up and down the sides of the legs again, gently taking your time to calm down to whatever's comfortable, drawing around that gorgeous earth energy. And then coming up the inside aspect of the legs, all the way to the pelvis, up into the conception vessel, heart center. Take your time, opening the arms out like a beautiful scroll. There's no rush here, going to wherever feels comfortable. Turning the palms up to the heavens, drawing that beautiful energy around whatever that is for you up there. Maybe it's Venus or the sun. And taking a piece, there's plenty of energy out there for us, and drawing it to the top of the head, fingertips to the crown chakra, our governing channel right on the top, our 100 meeting point. And then drawing the hands down the back of the governing vessel, just below the jaw, the neck, round the throat, down the heart center again into the conception vessel, around the ribs, and then we're going to find our lovely Ming Men down the governing vessel, into the sacrum, up and round the hips and down the legs again. And I'm going to be quiet for a bit, and then you can go at your own pace. You might want to go a little quicker, but keeping the feet nice and spread, easy breath. And if there's a place that you want to stay at for a little longer, like this feels pretty yummy, I'm going to stay here for a moment, please do so. Or you might want to go at a different speed entirely. Then we're going to gently, when you're ready, just start to be a little bit more freer with the form. So it doesn't matter so much the detail. We're washing ourselves in this gorgeous Qi from the heavens and the earth into our yin and yang channel, into our body, into our being. Wonderful. Now we can start to make it smaller, maybe not going all the way over to gather the earth energy. Maybe the area around you starting to get clearer. And we can just start to allow the hands to be a little bit more wafty, free flowing. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And then it's slowly going to get smaller and smaller. And I'm just going to draw the hands back to face our wonderful Dantian. And then we're going to connect in one hand over the other into our beautiful center. Easy breath. I've got a sense that there's a lot more peace and calm within our group, which is wonderful. So you can stay gently standing here. If you want at any point to come and lie down on the ground and maybe wrap yourself in a blanket, don't blame me at all, it sounds wonderful. You might want to come to sitting, so I'm just going to take my hands away from my dantian, my belly, and I'm going to come and share a little bit about the conception and the governing vessel. Thank you, Kim. Yes, I like that you call it Qi Gong of the cross. Feels like it, doesn't it? So I've got this lovely book that we've all been using for quite a while. Images and functions for points. And there's 2 points that we've connected in nicely to in our Qi Gong. And I thought if you wanted to get in contact with it again, you can. So our CB number 6 or conception vessel, number 6. It's below the belly button. It's located 1.5 units or sun, so that's your thumb width, so 1.5 of these, from the umbilicus on the anterior midline. So there's your belly button, and you're going to go 1.5 thumbs. So this is my dantian here, and it's called Sea of Qi. I love the image for this. It refers to the point's location within the influence of the cinnabar field, where the source Qi gathers in like a sea, a reservoir. It's wonderful. Its functions: it tonifies the kidneys, particularly the Qi and the Yang. It tonifies source Qi, enriches our yin, regulates the conception vessel and menstruation, regulates the lower burner, tonifies Qi and blood, regulates pathways, resolves dampness in the body, which is all of the damp heat, dries dampness and damp cold. It clears deficiency, heat, so it cools heat in the blood and calms the fetus. It's a wonderful point. I love it. Thank you, Dinah. She's got back to us. There we are. So that's our wonderful CV6, or it's also, this channel is called Ren Mai, which I'm going to come to in another little book that I've got ready for us. So this is called Extraordinary Vessels. They're not extraordinary, they're extraordinary. So this is the trajectory of the CV, the conception vessel, or the Ren Mai is its Chinese name. So I'll pop it up here. This is the trajectory of it. So connecting in just underneath the bottom lip, and it goes all the way down the midline and joins underneath the pelvis. Which side of it is the perineum? I think just in front of the perineum. I do have a picture that I do want to show you. I know sometimes it's not good. We're not going to press these points underneath, but I want to show you the full beginning and end of our microcosmic orbit. So it starts under the bottom lip here. So that's the Ren Mai. And then I wanted to show the governing vessel, also known as Do Mai, and this is its trajectory here. So governing vessel, or Do Mai trajectory. So it comes on the face, it comes from the top lip. So we've got conception vessel, governing vessel, and it comes all the way up, center of the nose, third eye, crown chakra. Okay, so that's where it goes, and then it goes all the way down the back of the head, back of the hairline, zips down the spine, and then underneath where it kind of closes, or maybe begins, as I think when we grow in the womb, we start at the other end of growing. So this is the beginning and the end points of these channels. So I'll pop this here for you. It seems like it's a male body they've drawn. So on the face here, look, we've got where it or ends actually, the governing vessel on the top lip, and then scoots all the way up and over the head. At the bottom, underneath our pelvis, this is perineum. Then we've got our anus, and then so we've got governing vessel and conception vessel. So the conception vessels past the genitals, and then we've got the governing vessel here. So that's the beginning and the end of our microcosmic orbit. I think it's really important to see where it goes. So that's what they look like and do. I'm going to come back to this book and tune into a point on the governing vessel that we've done lots before. And then I thought we could do a lovely thing where we can either stand or sit and connect in with these 2 points at the same time. Of course, we're going to find our kidney 1. I haven't forgotten, because that's always a nice one for grounding in a gentle way. So the more we go down, the easier it is to come up. All right. Where did I get it? There it is. GB, or governing vessel, number 20. Right on the top of the head. In yoga, it's your crown chakra. I think we connected with that last week. So 100 meetings, sea of marrow point. So we've got the sea of Qi and the sea of marrow point. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. It's an intersecting point of the bladder channel on our governing vessel. It's located on the midline of the head, halfway between the frontal hairline and the vertex of the external occipital protrudence. That kind of makes sense. Yes, I've got the right one. Sorry, I had another one here. So its image, the name refers to this point's location on the vertex of the head, the yang pole of the head of the body, and its influence on its various channels which meet here. In Indian philosophy, this point is known as the 1,000-petal lotus, the 7th or crown chakra. It suggests a similar understanding of the energies located at the top of the head. Here's its functions. It benefits and clears the brain, calms the spirit, and revives consciousness. It spreads liver Qi, subdues liver yang, it extinguishes liver wind, and dispels wind in general, warms the yang and restores collapsed yang, stabilizes lower orifices. So there we are, the other end of our conception vessel, governing vessel, helps the beginning of it, where they meet underneath on the pelvic bowl. And it regulates and tonifies Qi and also calms the fetus. Isn't that wonderful? All right, so it's come to sitting again. I'll stop yabbering and we'll get we'll get into sitting. You can sit on the floor if you want. I'm going to come and find an easy place on a chair, and we're going to find our kidney 1 points first, and then we're going to find that lovely dantian, our conception vessel number 6, sea of Qi, and we're going to find our governing vessel number 20, if I've got that correct. Easiest way to find it is from the top of your ears and then slightly drawn back, so it's not right on the top, it's just slightly back. There's a point there, and that's our sea of marrow. So all these gorgeous seas and waters within the body that we're going to connect with. But let's do our feet first. We've got just about enough time. So taking a hold of one foot, unless you've got someone at home that can help, you might want to do one another's feet. So rubbing the hands together. And if you can't get to your feet, finding a tennis ball or a spiky ball where you can sit and roll the feet out. You can still get in contact with kidney 1 this way. So we'll begin rubbing the hands together. I'm just going to squeeze the whole foot, saying hello to our feet. We did a bit when we were standing, but touch is such a beautiful thing, and particularly for our feet. They do a lot for us. And just giving a little wiggle, being curious as to how your foot moves, not forcing anything. And then we're going to find that lovely kidney 1 point. I'll pick up my foot so you can see. You're all probably definitely experts on this point by now. 2nd and 3rd metatarsal. Zip down from the toes underneath the ball of the foot. Here is your kidney 1. You might want to rest the foot and project the fingers up to kidney 1. Or maybe you want to hold it with the thumbs. If it's at all sensitive and really tender, connect the center of your palm to the point, kidney 1 point, and send some breath in there. So doing whatever feels comfortable, or resting that point on the tennis ball. Imagining the gorgeous words of this point, the bubbling spring. Again, another waterway. Allowing stress to melt away. If we're coping well, it's just going to keep us going with a gentle, sustained energy. If we're too grounded, it's going to help us gently lift ourselves, perhaps off the ground, helping us to bubble up very gently. Wonderful. Then we're going to release that foot. Might want to give a little a circle of the ankles, wiggle of the toes, and then we'll have a little feel of what they're like in the ground. Yes, I think the other one definitely needs some attention. So same thing with the other foot, swapping over. Just taking a little squeeze of the whole foot, not forgetting the heel and the tips of your toes right on the end. And then again, giving the foot a bit of a wiggle around, seeing what movement it's got. And then not forcing anything, just seeing what it's like. It's probably going to be very different to your other foot. Wonderful. Maybe squeezing and moving. You can do a bit of both. And then the same thing again. Second and third metatarsals zipping just underneath the ball of the foot. You might want to do fingers projecting upwards and thumbs on the top, or using your thumb or connecting in with the palm of the hand. Allowing stress to melt away, energy to gently bubble up. Perhaps thinking what is, letting things just be. We might have a million things to do today, and that's okay. And it's all right if they don't all get done. I'm still learning that. Definitely, I think recently I've been reading a little bit more of the Tao of Pooh, where Taoism meets the stories of Winnie the Pooh. I highly recommend it if you haven't found it yet. Winnie the Pooh is the most zen of all the characters, I think. Wonderful. So gently releasing that foot to the ground. Got a few minutes where we're just going to gently connect in. So it doesn't matter which hand, and you might want to just do it for a little bit, rest the arms, see how the shoulders are doing. So I'm going to connect in to my CB6, so belly button, and we're going to do 1.5 thumb down, and I'm gently pressing fingertips in, ever so gently. You might want to place the palm over the point instead, so do whatever feels good. And then we're going to find that point, so that's our C of Qi or Qi. And then with the other hand, we're going to allow it to sweep up and find our governing vessel, 20, right at the top of the head. So find your little pixie ears, and we're going to draw the tip of the ears, a line all the way to the top of the head. That's a lovely way of finding it. And then gently again, fingertips resting down. You can hold the hand over the head if that's easier, but we're not pressing hard. I'm just going to connect in for a moment. You can close your eyes if you want to, thinking of our conception vessel down the front of the body that comes up from underneath the pelvis. The perineum zips all the way up the front of the body, through the belly, the heart center, the throat, all the way to underneath the bottom lip, round our mouth. And our governing vessel from the top lip, it's through the center line of the nose, the third eye between the eyebrows, the lovely point that we're holding is our yang channel. Zip down the back of the head, all the way down the spine, and then all the way back underneath, just to the other side of the anus. So it meets at our orifices here and then underneath here. So we can think of our beautiful microcosmic orbit. Yin on the front and yang on the back. And they constantly interplay. We're not one thing and we're not the other. We're both at the same time. And this quality that meets on your body of yin and yang, this is what makes you you. The energy given from your mum and your dad when you were conceived. This is our energy. Wonderful. And we're just going to release the hand from the top of the head from our governing vessel 20. And how is it just to place the hand on the back of the body? So put it here so we can start to connect the Dantian and the Ming Men together. Wonderful. Easy breath. You might want to start to draw the breath in a little deeper, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. And then easy breath, nice and natural for you, releasing the hands, maybe resting them on your legs or over the belly, checking in with the shoulders. I'm going to check in with the time. It's 11. Wonderful. You might want to stay resting. If you want to come and lie down, please do. Take a rest before you go off and do anything else in your day. Jane, have a wonderful workshop. I'm just going to very, very, very quickly show how do you feel now. Obviously, if you need to go, please do. So are you more balanced? Are you about the same? Are you less balanced? I hope not less balanced. Okay, wonderful. So 2 of you feel about the same, 12 of you feel more balanced. Great, that's wonderful. I'm so pleased. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. Apologies for my yawning and lack of words when I wanted them. Thank you so much, Dinah, for being there on the chat and explaining Do-in. That's wonderful. Yes, it is Chinese, as Dinah says, developed in Japan, and there's a link there in the chat. Great. Have a lovely day and see you really soon. All right, bye-bye. I'm going to find the button to stop this. All right, have a lovely week. Bye.